When a woman says, "You're too good for me," she is not praising you. She is protecting herself. Those 5 words are not a compliment. They are a quiet confession, one she does not want you to decode. Because what she actually means is, "You make me see everything I am not." Your emotional control, your discipline, your self-respect, they all act like a mirror. And that mirror reflects her insecurities, her guilt, her chaos. It reminds her of every bad decision she ever made, every man she settled for, every version of herself she wishes she could erase. So, when she tells you you're too good, what she truly fears is judgment through comparison. Not yours, but her own. She feels small beside your stability. And instead of rising to meet you, she retreats, before you ever realize how deeply she actually wanted you. If you are drawn to the hidden side of human behavior, the motives people never say out loud, then stay with me. What you are about to hear will change how you interpret words that sound innocent but carry layers of fear and desire. The compliment that is not. When she says, "You're too good for me," it sounds graceful, polite, even flattering. But beneath that softness hides an emotional withdrawal, a coded message that means, "I cannot handle being seen by someone like you." You see, in human psychology, compliments are not always what they appear to be. Sometimes, they are self-protective shields. A woman who says you are too good is not celebrating your character, she is distancing herself from it. Because in your calm, she sees her chaos. In your discipline, she sees her disorder. In your self-respect, she confronts her lack of it. This is not arrogance on your part. It is projection on hers, a subconscious act where she transfers her self-judgment onto you. To her, your presence becomes a reminder of what she failed to become. And that realization hurts more than rejection ever could. So she does something that feels safer, she reframes her fear as your flaw. "You're too good," she says, as if goodness were a problem. Because for her, it is. Goodness demands accountability. Stability exposes insecurity. And while she may be attracted to your calm confidence, that same calmness makes her panic internally, a silent tug-of-war between desire and inadequacy. This is why her compliment feels warm but ends cold. It is her emotional exit strategy, wrapped in politeness. Not because she does not like you, but because she cannot face herself while standing next to you. The mirror effect. Every relationship is a mirror. We do not fall in love with people, we fall in love with the reflection they awaken inside us. And sometimes, that reflection is too raw to face. When a woman says, "You're too good for me," what she feels, deep down, is exposure. Your presence becomes psychological light, and light reveals everything she wanted to keep hidden. Her insecurities, her emotional wounds, her self-doubt. Suddenly, she is no longer comparing herself to her past lovers, she is comparing herself to the version of you she believes she does not deserve. This is the mirror effect, a psychological phenomenon where one person's stability amplifies another's shame. Carl Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." But transformation requires courage. And not everyone is ready to confront what that mirror reflects. So, she retreats. Not because she dislikes you, but because being with you would mean living with constant self-comparison. Your consistency highlights her chaos. Your patience highlights her impulsiveness. Your emotional maturity highlights her unhealed patterns. To the insecure mind, that is unbearable. It is easier for her to believe she cannot keep up, rather than admit she does not want to face the parts of herself that you make visible. That is why she leaves with kindness instead of honesty. Her withdrawal is not about you. It is a form of self-preservation, a way to silence the reflection that feels too honest, too pure, too painful. Attraction's panic button. Attraction is not always pleasant. Sometimes, it feels like danger, not because the other person is harmful, but because they awaken emotions that the mind cannot control. When a woman feels drawn to someone who represents everything she subconsciously wants but does not believe she deserves, her body reacts like it is under threat. Her nervous system confuses emotional exposure with vulnerability, and vulnerability feels unsafe. This is when the panic button gets pressed. She starts finding reasons to step back. She may say, "You're too good for me," or "You deserve better." It sounds caring, but it is actually her mind's emergency exit, a psychological defense known as avoidant attachment behavior. The avoidant mind values connection, but fears the loss of control that comes with it. And you, being calm, grounded, emotionally steady, represent unpredictability of another kind. Not chaos, but truth. You make her confront parts of herself that relationships with unstable men never did. With them, she could feel superior. With you, she feels seen, and that kind of exposure can trigger panic stronger than heartbreak. So she runs before their connection deepens. Because deep down, she senses that once she allows you in, she cannot hide anymore. Her fear is not of you leaving, her fear is of being fully understood, and then still left behind. That is why she exits while the story still sounds noble. It is easier to call you too good than to admit she is too afraid to meet you at your level. The hidden message. When she says, "You're too good for me," she is not rejecting you. She is protecting a fragile image of herself, the one that survives only when it is not being measured against something real. What she truly means is, "I see who you are, and I do not feel capable of being seen the same way." That is not arrogance. That is fear, the fear of emotional transparency, the fear of being known without the ability to hide. Every human being carries two versions of themselves, the one they show to others, and the one they secretly wrestle with when no one is watching. You may represent the bridge between those two worlds, and bridges, psychologically, are terrifying. Because they demand that we leave behind the comfort of self-delusion. So when she retreats, remember this: her distance does not reduce your worth. Her fear does not reflect your failure. It reflects how rare emotional safety truly is. The right woman will not be intimidated by your peace, she will be inspired by it. She will not see your calm as a mirror of her flaws, but as a place to rest. In the end, "You're too good for me" is not the end of a story. It is a test, a moment where your ego wants validation, but your wisdom must choose understanding. Because emotional maturity is not about convincing someone to stay. It is about recognizing when their fear speaks louder than their love, and choosing peace over pursuit.